Well, this is our last day in Central Florida. We're on our way down to St. Petersburg because there's a guy emailed us and said, would we be interested in looking at his dinghy? And yeah, you know, we're in the market for a dinghy because our poor old plywood thing, what's it, 8, 9 years old? And it's been sitting and baking in the sun in Mexico now for most of the year. We sort of need a new dinghy. But this one, turns out, is aluminum. How good is that? And so I emailed him back and I said, hey, did you know that we're built of aluminum? We're made of aluminum. And he goes, yep, that's why I'm emailing you. So we're going down. We just happen to be near the area. It's about a 2-hour drive for us down to St. Pete. We're going to go and check it out. Now this one, it's called Go-Do. Check it out on their website. It is just in the initial stages of production. In fact, he hasn't got a production model yet. He's only got his prototype. Would you believe it's only next week he's going to have his first batch delivered? We're not going to be there. We're going to miss out on those. But anyway, we're going to have a chat to him. His name is Kyle, and we're looking forward to seeing this boat. This would be ideal to be hanging off the back of Jupiter. Let's see what it looks like. So we're here with Kyle in St. Petersburg, Florida, checking out this amazing aluminium dinghy. Kyle, introduce yourself. Tell us how you came to be building dinghies.
It's the same story you hear from so many cruisers. What we had available on the market didn't meet our needs.
Yeah.
And when we went talking to people about creating something, you know, companies that existed, and we talked to them about building dinghies that we thought would be, you know, better suited to what we wanted, we got a lot of crickets.
Yeah.
And we eventually got tired of knocking on doors and just did it ourselves. You know, the Rib has really become such an optimized boat. It's just so great for the cruising life, right?
Sure.
But it broke my heart to replace it every 5 years.
Well, that's the thing. And they're so delicate.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you pay for Hyperlon, you get a bit longer, and then you got to baby them around any sort of rocks.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and docks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And you've got to put the chaps on, otherwise they just won't last, you know, so.
It gets sticky.
Yeah.
It starts coming off on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Honduras, in the Bay Islands of Honduras.
Okay.
Staying on Utila, which is one of our favorite islands that we've ever visited.
We never made it there.
And the docks there are very roughly built.
Right.
And they're almost always nails.
Yes.
So you get a lot of heads that are bent over and sticking out all over. We were always so afraid every time we'd leave the boat, like, well, we'll see if it's floating, you know, when we come back, you know.
I know.
You know, because our boat was old, man, you know. You know.
And then when the tide comes up and the bow stuck under it.
Yeah, right? Folds it into a pretzel, you know. You know, we came up with the concept of, we just wanted a Rib that would last as long as the mothership.
For sure.
You know, we wanted a Rib that we could maintain rather than throw away.
Exactly.
And so we didn't try to reinvent the wheel. We simply wanted to take the Rib that we loved and just make it indestructible, you know, as best we could. Right.
No one else is doing it like this. I mean, there's one in Australia, but it's heavy, you know, like.
Sure. And then the tubes are round.
Yeah.
Which to my mind, has some disadvantages, you know.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have a flat surface to sit on, stand on, climb on, you know, that sort of thing. And then, you know, a square, right, is more voluminous than that round, right, for its size.
Sure.
So by doing the octagonal tunes, I get the same amount of buoyancy out of a 14-inch tune as a 16-inch round.
Serious?
So we save a lot of size, but we still have the same buoyancy, right?
Yeah, because this is not, like, even you get in any inflatable and it's a big fat tube.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel big at all. It's
Right, and and they're limited because when you fill something with air, it turns into a tube whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
right? But because we can do this break bent aluminum, we really get that advantage of creating the shape that works best, you know, for what we think works best, right?
Now this is just your prototype.
Correct. So it's not a perfect representation of our production line, but it is dimensionally sound.
I mean, I'm loving it already.
Yeah. So, and it's been a road, man. We've been at it now for over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've probably had this, I think, 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when is the real ones coming?
This week, believe it or not. We missed it by like 3 days.
We're too early. Bugger.
Yeah.
That would have been so good to see you.
It's all right. We'll see it again, man. We'll get together again.
Show me some of the features here. Like you got wheels already built in.
Yeah,
That's standard, is it?
We want to do the wheel standard because when we added the wheels to our fiberglass rib, it just changed everything for the better.
Yeah.
You know, because my wife's she's a mighty mouse, but she's not a big strong person.
Yeah.
And the wheels made it so that she felt comfortable taking the dinghy to beaches on her own.
For sure.
And finding that freedom in the cruising life to do things separately is an important part of being comfortable long term on the boat.
Princess knows about trying to run the dinghy by herself.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge, you know. The other things that we've done is there's a bulkhead in the front here, and that prevents your fuel tank and your gear from sliding all over the boat.
Yep.
And it also keeps all the weight where you want it.
Yeah.
You know, way up front, right?
Yeah.
The other thing we've done is, so this line here, in the production versions, this line goes all the way around.
Yeah.
And it'll be one big piece.
Yep.
And, we really like this just to hold on to while we're underway.
Yeah,
but also for dragging it up and down the beach.
Yeah.
That really makes a difference. And then we have 3 interior davit lift points standard.
Right, yeah.
And then we've got, the bumper, right? So this is an acrylic canvas cover over a high density closed cell foam bumper.
Yeah.
So, you won't scratch your mothership. You won't mar up your gel coat with the aluminum boat. It'll keep it safe and soft for you there.
You could take this off to repair it, like if it got torn or something. It's just on tracks, is that right?
Correct. So, and because it's in tracks, say a nail or a screw or something tears it all up, you're never going to lose it. It's not going to fall off, right?
Exactly.
Because it's not tied on. So because it's in that luff track, even if one section is kind of shredded, you can patch that section.
Sure.
You don't have to replace the whole thing.
Yeah.
Although obviously you'll be able to order replacements if you'd like, and you can also color code them to your mothership.
Yeah.
So if you trim out the mothership in a green or a red, you can get a matching cover.
Yeah, right.
And then I've also had friends say, well, I can't wait, I'm going to embroider the name on it. Some people are excited about that.
Of course,
right? Yeah. And then the sea deck is standard, although we have made it so it comes down over to here.
Right.
So we're going to have some advantage to further protect your bum.
Now you need that. Nothing worse than a burnt bum.
We tried our best to just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Because if you start adding too many features,
it's heavy.
It never does everything really well.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, everything you add adds weight.
Yeah.
And, with an all aluminum boat like this, weight was our big challenge. Right.
Yeah.
And so we really focused in on that. We were 172 pounds with the sea deck and the bumper and everything in place.
So compared to like the top end OC tenders, how much?
So the OCs beat us. They're probably down around that 120 mark.
Okay.
And then the aluminum ribs normally beat us. They're down at that the 120, 130 range as well. But the fiberglass ribs are all right near us. 163, 167.
Right.
They're all right. We're right in there with the fiberglass ribs.
Okay.
That's really, for us, I don't think we can go any lighter. I think that's one of the compromises of the aluminum tubes is that because they're so much more robust, they add some of that weight.
Sure. I mean, that's a nice weight, and I'm worried about weight on the catamaran.
Right.
Weight means everything, really.
Yeah, and I mean, and two, it's usability, carrying it up and down a beach and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you have the beach wheels, it's so much less of a concern, but it matters.
For sure.
Yeah. It matters, especially if you're somebody who stores your boat on deck and you need to be able to bring it down on a halyard and kind of jockey it into some chocks.
Yep.
Every pound you add just makes everything you do with it harder.
Totally.
So
now, have you snorkeled or dived off this and got back
Yeah,
here?
and that's great.
Yeah.
We have an upcoming accessory that we're working on. We're developing a bow ladder for it.
Ah, nice.
And because it has a rigid tube, as well as that flat top, the bow ladder will be a rigid ladder.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you're somebody who is getting up there on age, or maybe you're dealing with, a bum knee, how nice will it be to have an actual 4-step ladder
totally,
to get in and out of the boat? So keep your eyes out for that. We will be putting those out probably in the next year or so.
Very nice. So this size, what size is this?
This
one?
is a 10.5.
And what else are you going to do?
We have plans to do a 12.5. And we have plans to eventually do a 16.
Wow.
But before that, we're gonna do a floor and a bow locker for the 10.5.
Okay, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I know that a lot of people like that because there's some people, especially cat sailors, who don't have to put their boat on deck. That extra weight of the floor and the bow locker is offset by the convenience.
Sure.
You know, and
Yep,
so
yep.
we definitely want to bring that out. And I think a floor would be awfully nice, but for me, I'm too much of a weight pincher.
Yeah, that's right. Well, at least you got the
Yeah.
the chance of either. You
Sure.
got the choice. So the big 16, how many horses you put on a big 16?
We will have to, so this is an interesting thing. The U.S. Coast Guard does not regulate ribs.
Right.
So their horsepower ratings are manufacturer
Really?
chosen.
Right.
They're
right.
not decided by the Coast Guard. For me, because our boat does not rely on air for its structure,
Yeah.
we are not an inflatable.
Right.
And so we have to follow their guidelines.
Ah.
So the best engine we can put on the 10.5 is a 15.
Right.
And the 12.5, I know I'll be able to at least do a 25.
Yeah.
But I haven't done the numbers on the 16 because it's a combination of buoyancy,
Yeah.
length, width, and transom height.
Sure.
So once I have that design finalized, then I can run that calculation. At the moment, the 15 is what you get on the 10.5.
Yep, yep.
And that's a pretty industry standard motor size there.
Are you going to be selling only within the US or overseas customers are
I
welcome
will
to?
ship it anywhere you want. And obviously, shipping is a tough thing, especially in today's age because it's so volatile.
Sure.
But it's all I can do to offer. I'm hoping eventually we will have, a partner in the UK that will act as a dealer and be able to bring them over in bulk.
Yeah.
And if that happens, obviously that savings would get passed on to the customer.
right. Fill a
But
container
The
of
way
it.
it is right now, if you come to us and you want to buy a boat and you live in the UK or if you live in Australia, we're just going to do our best to work with you and get you the best shipping price we can.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm not into 4-stroke engines. I like the old 2-strokes. And
Sure.
My boat's in Mexico, so I can do that.
Yeah. Well, and they're legal to have here. You just can't buy them.
Right. You want one? I'll get you one.
I've been really impressed on the 4-stroke just because of the efficiency.
Yeah.
The EFI
All
burns
right.
so little fuel.
Really?
I've been very, very impressed because I grew up on 2-strokes,
Sure.
snowmobiles and dirt bikes and these sorts of things. And, I was a big 2-stroke fan.
Yeah.
And we ended up with this 4-stroke for the company because, like I say, I can't buy them here. And I got to say, I've been very, very impressed with how frugal it is on
Alright.
on the fuel there. And the weight keeps coming down. I think this
Yeah.
is, with oil, I think this is 108 pounds.
Okay.
So it's getting better and better all
Good.
the time, right?
Good to know.
Yeah. So I hope, hopefully, in a few more years, we'll break that 100 barrier.
Yeah.
Like the 2-strokers.
And yeah, Princess would love an electric start. That's for sure.
Oh, I know. Isn't that?
We've got to get her one of them.
Spoiled. My wife had trouble with that. We had a 9-horse.
Yep.
And she struggled with it. So when we bought this one for the company, I was so excited that it had an electric start as an option because it just makes life so much simpler. Right?
Sure. Do you have any sort of spray deflector?
So the tubes obviously extend out beyond the hull.
Right.
So they do some of that on their own.
Okay.
And then one of the things is on that octagonal hull, right? If we have that octagonal hull,
Yeah.
the actual 24-degree dead rise hull lands, in here.
All right.
And so you get a little V.
A little cavity there.
And
yeah.
so it will help to throw the spray down.
Ah, nice.
So I would say that you do see some improvement. It's just not dramatic.
Sure.
But yeah, the ride quality in the chop has been a big bonus for us.
Yeah. No, I like it. I mean, it's just, that's why I don't have an inflatable, because I know, well, for one, they're so expensive. I mean, my little plywood thing's still going after 8-9 years.
Right.
It's been baking in the sun in Mexico now. It's maybe on its last legs, but I'll just slap another coat of paint. It'll be fine.
Right?
But
well, and that's the beauty of those boats, man. Those hard boats. And that's what we were after with this.
Exactly,
you
man.
know. Don't reinvent the wheel. It's not special in many ways other than it is an indestructible rib.
wow. I gotta get me one.
I can't wait for you to have one. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Should we go for a ride?
Let's go for a ride.
My goodness.
Really this up. We took the wrong turn. I took the wrong turn. We're on a side road now. It wants us to go under the overpass, which is way low.
Looks okay. Wait. Yeah.
That's a big hole.
Ah!
Big hole.
Oh no! Go back. Holy sh! Can you check if there's a car? I didn't see